A bizarre score, 1-0, 20 combined hits. Purdue leaves a runner on base in every inning. Minnesota has 8 hits by 8 different players. Sum it up for me, sir.
It's 1-0. It's a win. It's exactly what Minnesota needed from the fact that they finally got one across. No big inning from Minnesota in this ball game. You saw the one run come across. That's all they needed.
In the 30-year history of the Big Ten tournament, there had been one previous 1-0 shutout win, Michigan over Iowa.
Ow, that hurt.
Sorry, little dig there. Way back in 1983, let's show you how Minnesota posted just the second 1-0 win in the history of the Big Ten tournament. How about Tom Wendell? Yes, Mr. Wendell, the freshman, pitched 3 innings in Minnesota's first game of the day. So what does he get? The call to start the second game of the day, and maybe he's too young to know he's not supposed to do this. Strikes out Chris Antonelli and then Cameron Perkins in the 5th. Now Perkins gets a little bit of Wendell there. He would later steal second in the 5th, but next batter, runners on second and third for Plawecki, and Wendell comes up big.
Saw this too many times for the Purdue Boilermakers, the middle of their lineup, popping out with runners on base.
Wendell, after going 3 scoreless in game 1, goes 5 scoreless in game 2. Bottom 6, still donuts, 2 on for Kyle Geeson. Geeson was able to do it in game 1 with a 2-run bomb. Not able to do it. I said 8 Minnesota players had hits in this game. He was the one who did not. Top 7, 1 on for Eric Charles. Facing Billy Soul, Charles with the double to left. Now, David Miller stops at third. That's the right call. Got to stop the guy at third with 1 out, right?
You got to stop him because you got 1 out. You got your middle of the lineup coming up again.
It's Cameron Perkins and then Plawecki. First pitch, Perkins pops out to shortstop. So now there's 2 outs. But Plawecki, your cleanup guy, your best hitter coming up. First pitch, Plawecki grounds out to second, and once again, Purdue squanders a great chance.
And this is a killer. It's a momentum killer. It just takes the adrenaline and the right out of you.
Bottom 7, still no score. Runners on first and third for A.J. Pedersen. Hallelujah, we got a run. Pedersen, the RBI single. Gophers go up 1-0. 2 batters later, loaded for Nick O'Shea. Eric Charles, are you kidding me? Full extension to keep this a 1-0 game. In the 8th, it's Barrett Serrato, the single to right. Here's the play of the game. Justin Gaminsky comes up. What a hose. Tyler Spillner believes he's safe. You, sir, are out. In the green room, we said safe, but the replay, Cal, what a tag.
And give umpire Jim Jackson a lot of credit. He's right where he needs to be, and he made the right call.
And so it's still 1-0. Top 9, tying run on second for Purdue, and wouldn't you know it, Cameron Perkins shows the warning track power. A runner left on base in every inning for Purdue. You cannot say it often enough as the Boilermakers get 12 hits and fail to get anyone across the dish. Purdue's season comes to an end 37-20 while Minnesota wins a second straight game after knocking off Ohio State in game number 1 on Friday. They beat Purdue in game number 2. So your updated bracket appears to look like this. Minnesota will move on to Saturday, Game 9 at 3:30 Eastern right here on the Big Ten Network. They'll play the loser of this evening's nightcap between Illinois and Michigan State. The winner then goes on and will have to beat the winner of tonight's game twice to win the Big Ten tournament title. Justin Gaminsky came up big with the throw from right. Scott Matus came in, got a 2-out save. But 2-inning save, I should say. But no doubt, Cal, the story of this game, the freshman, Tom Wendell, he throws 3 innings in game 1, and John Anderson says, you know what, I liked what you did so much, you're going to be my starter in game 2.
Tom Wendell, the young man, you got to give him a lot of credit. You see him, we're going to show you in the first ball game today. Once again, Tom Wendell against Ohio State comes in, and he's going to throw 3 innings here, but he goes through the middle of their lineup, too. A punch-out looking of Josh Dezay, Ohio State's 4-hole hitter, and then Matt Strang. He gets him going down swinging on the breaking ball. So we saw the fastball and the breaking ball. What's this? This is a different team he's facing, Rick. This is Purdue, and he gets a pop-out right here of Plawecki. Gets him popped out here, and you really look at the fact, look at those numbers. 8 hits, no runs, 8 punch-outs, or 6 punch-outs, no walks.
Not a single base on balls.
And that kept his pitch count down so that he could give the Minnesota Gophers 8 innings of wonderful pitching.
Now, we make a big deal out of it, and certainly Wendell deserves a ton of credit. But also, when you really break it down, it's like a pitcher who has to sit through a long half inning when his team scores a bunch of runs, bats around, or much like Kurt Wunderlich last night, a pitcher sitting out through a weather delay.
It's really no different. I think it just looks like a rain delay to him. Plus, he's a freshman. This kid, tall, lanky, 6'4", 200 or so pounds. This kid's tall and lanky and strong, and he's bounced back, and he did it. I guess he did exactly what Wunderlich did. Went and relaxed with his teammates, came back out against Purdue, and gave him 5 shutout.
So Boilermaker fans, by the end of this game break, I guarantee are going to be sick of hearing us talk about how many missed opportunities, the fact that Purdue left the guy on base in every single inning. And Cal, it wasn't like the 7, 8, and 9 guys were leaving runners on base. I mean, you had Plawecki, Perkins, the middle of their order had all sorts of opportunities in this ballgame.
So let's just get it over with and talk about the middle of the order and show you what happened in the 4th, 5th, and the 7th innings. They left guys on base. Chris Antonelli, now he's lower in the lineup. He comes back and ends up punching out with runners in scoring position in the 4th. In the 5th here, Kevin Plawecki, your cleanup hitter, popping up to the first baseman. This is very frustrating for him, Rick. Then finally, with a no balls, no strike, first pitch from Billy Soul, Cameron Perkins pops up to the shortstop with guys at second and third. This was probably their best scoring opportunity.
You've got to be more disciplined than that.
You do, and really, I know they're aggressive, but then another 0-0 count, first pitch. Kevin Plawecki goes after it, hits a ground ball. Puel makes a nice play, gets him at first base, but really, really frustrating because it wasn't just this ball game. It was their ball game yesterday that they just could not drive in runs. That's how they end up losing 7-1, and that's how they lose this one 1-0.
During his in-game interview, Doug Schreiber said as much. He said, we're getting hits, but we need to get timely hits. Those are so much important than singles with nobody on base. And so at 37-20, Purdue has a very outside chance at getting an at-large bid to the NCAA tournament, but in all likelihood, their season comes to a close. How would you rate the 2011 campaign for the Boilers?
I think they had a wonderful season. And the other thing is, I know for Coach Schreiber, he was on the team, I believe it was in 1986, where they won 37 ball games as a player. Now they had the opportunity to come in here. All they needed to do was win one ball game or break that school record. Frustrating for him from that standpoint. But most of all, look at Purdue now. Some young kids on this team, Perkins and Plawecki being sophomores. You got some other kids, Talbot, who's a young kid. These guys have gained some very, very valuable experience. I know for him and the Purdue Boilermakers, they would have loved to have made a little longer run and won a game in this conference tournament so that they could come and show what they have next year in this tournament.
And there really wasn't much of a difference between Purdue and Minnesota in this game. One timely hit, one hit with the runner on base, and Purdue easily could have been the one advancing. Instead, it's the Golden Gophers.